Sandra. So first of all, let me apologize for the delay in uploading this video. And this video is in response to Annie and Gideon's question on the precise method in summarizing your Ican pack. So I'm going to use an example of the examinations for skills level. So at skills level, we have financial reporting, we have public sector accounting, we have performance management, management governance and ethics, audit and assurance, and taxation. So this is just like a brief summary on how best to summarize your pack. But please, it is not all encompassing. In the best way you feel you understand your summary is how you should do it. So for financial reporting, now financial reporting basically has to do with standard. So in my own view, I feel if you want to summarize your standard, let's take for instance you're summarizing IS2, which has to do with inventories. First things first, you have to know the initial recognition for each standard. For IS2, the initial recognition is the lower of cost or net realizable value. That's what you have to know, the initial recognition for each standard. Then you have to know the subsequent recognition. If there are other relevant information in that standard that you need to know, then you have to know how is it measured, like where do you get your figures from. Then you have to know disclosure. How is it disclosed? How is it recorded in the financial statement? Does it go to the statement of profit and loss or other comprehensive income, or is it measured? Is it disclosed in the balance sheet? Then if there are some exemptions to the rule concerning a particular standard, you also have to note them. So while you are summarizing, take note of these 4 points. Then it's also very important that your Ican packs, if there are examples on each of the standard, take your time and ensure that you understand them, even if it may not form part of your summary book, but understand the calculations and maybe this other solving that may have been done in the pack. It also helps, aside going for tutorials and attending other classes. Then that's for financial reporting. Then for performance management is just in the same line with financial reporting because both of them are calculation courses. Although financial reporting is more of calculation than performance management. So what you have to look for performance management is number one, the key definitions. Like you have to know the key definitions on each topic under it. Then you have to note the examples. A lot of examples are in the performance management pack. And most times I've seen cases whereby the institute picks directly a specific question that has been solved in the Ican pack. So you have to understand all examples that have been solved. Then also note your formulas, maybe break-even point, break-even in Naira, break-even in units, and every other formula line, because it actually has a lot of formulas. Then for others which are theory, aside taxation, we have public sector accounting. Public sector is actually very broad. So in my own view, I feel what you have to note when your summary is the definitions. Then you have to note the classes and types. There are a lot of each branch has its own children, great-grandchildren, and mothers and fathers, that kind of stuff. So you have to know all the classes and types. Now, in summarizing your classes and types, you may not really have to write all the explanations in the pack. If for instance you pick a question on you pick a topic on public sector and it has like 5 types, it is very important that you know the types. At least knowledge of what it entails is important. Then you may not really have to summarize, but if you must, you may just have like maybe 2 lines summary, a very small short note, not writing all that has been explained in the pack. But be very sure that you understand each of the examples or the classes or types you have written down. You understand the explanation, the explanation that it entails. Then you have to also note if this has been examined in recent Ican exams. So it's very important to know it has all these current issues in public sector like the Treasury Single Account, Financial Reporting Act, and others. Then in the same line, we have management governance and ethics and audit and assurance. You also have to note your key definition, types and classes. Now, let me explain this better under NG. Take for instance, you have to explain something like the PESTEL analysis. Now, you know PESTEL has to do with political factors, environmental, and all the likes. Now, you may have to list them and maybe form acronyms with them for better understanding. Then, the acronyms you have formed and the classes you already written down, just want to understand what does when they talk about environmental factor, what does it entail? It has to do with things in the environment. When we talk about political factors, what does it mean? So even if you may not form part of your summary, while all the acronyms and classes you may have listed, you should make sure you have an in-depth understanding of what it entails. Same thing with audit and assurance. Audit and assurance is very important. You have acronyms in audit and assurance because it has a lot of classes, a lot of types, a lot of branches. It has a lot of steps, and most of these steps you need acronyms to be able to remember them easily in examination condition, because like you can't skip a step before the other, or that and the likes. Then taxation is actually should I say, a bit challenging to summarize taxation, because taxation has to do with laws, and laws. How do you summarize laws? Take for example, if you take Personal Income Tax Act, all allowable expenses, how do you summarize them? All these allowable expenses. So I feel what you need to know under taxation is that you need to know the laws itself, know the laws. Then maybe if you have prior knowledge on some of the laws, or maybe the exceptions, or maybe the allowable, okay, maybe you already know that under non-allowable expenses, the first thing is depreciation. Maybe you can as well, maybe you can skip it from your summary since you already have a knowledge of that. But there are some non-allowable expenses that is actually very complex that maybe it's not common, that you may really need to know. So you need to allow that to form part of your summary. So this is just a brief guidance on how to precisely summarize your Ican parts. I hope it has been helpful and you have gained one or two things. Please feel free to drop more suggestions as you feel maybe that has not been covered in this explanation on the comment section below. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.